Good morning. This is Al Vickery at Ale Waters Capital in Braintree, Massachusetts, and this is your morning call for Friday, March 18th. Going to end a very long and difficult trading week, which has seen equities rise and fall pretty strongly as events unfolded in Japan. There's been a lot going on, and it has changed not only daily but within the day on several occasions. Futures are up slightly again today after the Dow did manage a pretty strong recovery of more than 160 points yesterday. Um, Kind of a combination of some things happening as far as that goes. Um, Strangely enough, the lack of worsening of the nuclear power plant situation in Japan, as each day goes by, it's been somewhat a positive that things haven't worsened, if that makes any sense. The fact is, however, this morning we're getting word that TEPCO, the Tokyo Electric Power Company, has run a power line, and they say they may have power restored to at least one of the reactors in the next 24 hours, perhaps two, three, or all four sometime over the weekend. And what this means is they presumably will be able to turn the pumps back on for the cooling. Remains to be seen just how well that goes. There could be damage to the pumps themselves and so on and so forth. But all told, people are taking no news as good news, and equities have moved slowly higher as a result of that. Even more importantly, one of the things that happened during this crisis in Japan was that the yen had soared much higher. And strangely enough, this seems counterintuitive, but it was because a lot of traders expected to see that insurance companies and even corporations in Japan would start drawing in funds from their foreign holdings in order to help pay for the high costs of the insurance claims and rebuilding and everything else. It never actually happened, but the speculation of that led the yen much higher. Now, from the finance ministers of the G7, they have come up with a plan and have already started, presumably, selling the yen to help bring the yen down in the global market. So the dollar has surged more than 3% against the yen. The euro has gained about 4% on the yen this morning. And, this led the markets in Tokyo much higher. Futures are up here, stocks are up in Europe, all modestly, but things are kind of gaining some momentum. More importantly, gold has also started a bit of a rally. It's up another $11 this morning. It's back up above 1400 at about 1415. And a lot of why gold tumbled recently was there's some concern of just there being enough money around for investment. People were very concerned about the situation in Japan, much like when China began to tighten its monetary policy, we saw gold pull back because there'd be, quite frankly, less investment dollars floating around. And of course, this was a similar factor in Japan. Besides, traders were losing a lot of money on stocks. They had to cash out of gold in order to kind of balance this off. Now that's all shifting back to the upside again. We also have oil on the rise, and that's because the UN has approved the use of military force in Libya, including a no-fly zone, and apparently plans are actually moving ahead for possible airstrikes at any point during today against pro-Muammar Gaddafi forces there. So we could see oil surge even higher. That will have an impact on gold because there'll be the hedge against inflation. People will start moving towards gold again. So a lot of factors could play out during the day today. As for the uranium markets, we repeat our call saying there's certainly a buying opportunity as uranium mining stocks have pulled back. Bottom line is the nuclear industry is going to be around. This becomes a little bit more of a political play. Certain countries, definitely in the U.S., although the White House says it's hasn't really changed its mind about nuclear power, but in other highly democratic countries where they're concerned about public opinion, more so, quite frankly, than in China and some other places, um, it'll be a political thing. Lobbyists in both directions will be involved, and that may slow the process. But China, Russia, other places, including in Africa, are going to certainly move ahead with their projects. And the bottom line is, when you talk about a uranium mining company, you're talking about profits and operations and things like that. These companies, even as the market price for uranium pulls back a little bit, are still well within their margins to be profitable. So we think those shares will start to bounce back. So there's an opportunity there. Otherwise, we hope things will be a little bit more calm next week, or at least moving in that direction, and stocks should slowly move back to the upside. But we should also expect some fluctuation. Again, as always, happy trading, and we will see you next week.